Hey, it's Aaron. Today I'm next to a 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. This is in the Platinum Edition with four-wheel drive and a few other things. This is, I have to point out, a prototype, so there could be some minor changes to what you're seeing right here. But otherwise, this is basically the production 2022 Pathfinder. So Nissan made a whole lot of changes. You can probably see those. Just in the design, we're already seeing, you see this, the front is completely different. The new logo is on it. The profile, I'll show you that in a minute, is a whole lot different. It's a very different machine. Major change that was made, 3.5 liter V6, 9-speed automatic transmission. There's no longer a CVT in this. That's a good thing. It will help with some reliability issues Nissan has been having. So let's have a look-see at this thing. So here you're seeing the side profile of it. You can see it's a whole lot different. They've gone to a bunch of different design elements. These are being seen across Nissan's lineup. So what you're seeing right now is it's kind of more of a square body. So they've moved more towards that squarish look and less from that sporty fastback kind of thing they were trying before. You can see the front end is much flatter, and you can see the rear is also a whole lot flatter. And then you can just see on the body panels, very simple, not a whole lot of creasing and other things. Bone lines are very simple. You can see the rear fender is much more pronounced, and the front is a lot less pronounced, which kind of creates a heavier, stronger look. And then you can see the floating roof style. So this is a Nissan thing. Let me come in so you can have some perspective. So you can see this is larger than it was before. It's noticeably taller and overall just beefier. You can see it all the way around. It's wider. It's bigger. So this right here is the floating roof. You can see how just by putting this black right here, it creates the illusion that this is floating. What's even better though is the floating roof is neat and everything, but everybody's already doing that. What's cool here is it creates a two-tone. And that looks really good on this. It's something that we've gotten away from in the last few decades, and it's nice to see that kind of two-tone-ish coloring starting to come back. This does have a giant glass roof. The glass goes to about right here, so this part right here is glass. Working roof rails, they are an option, I believe, but this is this Platinum Edition has working roof rails on it. Beautiful green color. I love this color, and I've gotten lots of compliments on it. So what I was pointing out before, you can see this right here, it creates a light line is what it's called. So it sticks out at kind of an angle about like that right here, and it creates this heavy haunch on the back of the car. But this shelf catches light in a different way than this does, in a different way than this does, and in a different way than this does, which creates a light shelf. So it kind of makes this a change in the lighting and thus a change in the view, the look of the vehicle. In this case, making it look much more robust. And then the bone lines I was talking about before, those are the little hidden things underneath the bodywork that create this light curvature right here and then create this sort of indent, but not quite. You can barely see it. Bone lines are all about light. They're all about moving light around to change your view of the vehicle. So there's a very pronounced one here. It's probably the most pronounced one on the car. And all it does is it creates a dip right here. So beautiful look. I really, really like it. New Nissan logos on the center caps, also on the front you saw before, and we'll go around the back and I'll show you what's going on there. Then we'll get inside. So here's the back of the Pathfinder here. You can see with current market trends, you put the name of the vehicle in giant lettering on the back. Every midsize crossover SUV seems to have that now. One of my chief complaints about this vehicle is that Nissan seems to have done a whole lot of things to try to be trendy. It's the only way to put it. And it doesn't sound nice, but it's the truth. This back end is very much Kia Telluride. The front end is very much Volkswagen. It seems like they're following trends instead of creating them. That's kind of a beef with me. I would like to see a little more innovation. But new Nissan logo, very pronounced back here. It's funny, when this first came out, I didn't like it at all because I just saw it on paper, right? I just saw it on the screen, on my computer screen and on paper. When it's in real life like this, it looks way better than what it is just virtually on the screen. I'm kind of next to a golf course, and there's apparently a lot of maintenance vehicles today. Whatever. Anyway, working end of the vehicle back here, you can see it's got a trailer hitch, so it does have towing set up. I don't think that's standard. I'm pretty sure you'll have to pay for that, but well worth it. Expands the capabilities of a vehicle like this a lot. So 3 rows, just like before. The third row is fairly cramped. It is mostly for kids, but totally usable. So I've had a kid back here because I have 3 kids, and those are captain's chairs in the middle. So I've had a kid back here, and perfectly fine. 5 of us got in this car, drove a very long way up to Gehring, Nebraska, which is where Tim Esterdahl from Pickup Truck and SUV Talk lives. And we went to a car show up there. He had his truck Swede in that car show. Also, a friend of mine, Mel, had a couple of cars, a Studebaker and a Ford, in that show. So anyway, we road tripped in this for a short distance. It's about a 2-hour drive one way, and very, very comfortable. Very, very nice. I love the rubber here, which I believe is an option, but it's still awesome. And you have some storage underneath this. Substantial storage, more than you would think. Not sure the reason for that, but I'm pretty sure it's because I don't think this has a spare. Look underneath and double check. I do not see a spare, which means, yep, there's an inflation kit, no spare. So, but I'll let my buddy John Gorham do that one. I'm doing a lot of name dropping. That's all right. Shout outs. That's what I'll call them. So, yeah, what you got here is you got the third row there, that one right there. Space in here is a little bit limited with the third row up, but honestly, I would not consider this a 3-row vehicle. I would consider it a 2-row plus vehicle. So the third row is occasional use, not every day. It's not like a minivan. So these are mostly going to be down for most people most of the time. So that's kind of how I would view the whole thing. So there you go. That's kind of the back end here. Let's go look on the inside. So sitting on the inside, I just started the engine so that the seat would move forward and you can see where I'm positioned. So beautiful setup in here. Feels very good. I really like this layout, and I love the zero gravity seating. I'm glad that Nissan is sticking with that. You have a head-up display and a bunch of screen real estate here. Almost 3 feet worth if you add it all together. So really interesting and really cool. The virtual screen here is about the same size as the infotainment over there. So this can be changed a little bit and modernized or customized how you want it. There's buttons that mostly make sense. You pretty much know what you're doing when you're in this and driving it. The Platinum Edition has ProPilot. ProPilot is Nissan's next level advanced driving aid, I guess you would say. So if you've used Adaptive Cruise, where the vehicle adapts to the speed that you're driving of other drivers on the road, this is like the next level after that. It holds you in the center of the lane, and even better than that, if you let go of the wheel or you're unresponsive, it stops the vehicle. So if you let go of the wheel, it starts chiming at you, makes a lot of noise, and then it starts pumping the brakes a little bit to kind of wake you up if that's what's going on. And then eventually at somewhere around 12 to 15 seconds into it, it will just shut off. So the vehicle will come to a stop, turn on the hazard lights, and is done. Waiting for an emergency or for you to intervene at that point. So very, very good system, very safe. I would much rather stop in the middle of a highway with the flashers on than stop by flying off the road into a ditch and smashing into a couple of fence posts and probably not faring well as a result. So there you go. Very nicely done. Couple of things to note that annoy me. The new shifter, which I pointed out also in the Nissan Rogue when I drove it. This shifter is weird. So you grab it and you move it and everything works fine, but getting into neutral is going to take a whole lot of practice. It takes a long time to figure out how to just touch it right so that it will go into neutral instead of drive or reverse. Really annoying when you try to go through an automated car wash. Anyway, other than that, very, very nice layout, beautiful interior. I'll try to show you some photos, but again, this is a prototype, so I'm probably not going to use my own photos. I'll probably just pull some from Nissan. So there's that. Let's look at the back seats. All right, here's the back seats. Now, I shut the vehicle off, so this seat moved back to make it easier to get in and out, right? Even with that, so even with the seat adjusted for me at 6'3", plus having shut it off so it moves back another probably 2 or 3 inches, I still have space, about a finger's width, between my knees and that seat. That's amazing. Headroom is phenomenal in this. Again, 6'3", and I'm not even touching, right? So if I had an afro, it would be scraping. That's it. It's not. Wonderful seats back here. Also zero gravity in the second row. They feel really good, and they're pretty adjustable. If I can find the handle, I can lean back, lean forward, do all that, and they slide back and forth as well. Couple of things to note. This is a $50,000 vehicle in this Platinum Edition, the top end with all the add-ons that they put in this. I have sort of a breakdown sheet, but it's not very good. I'll show it to you anyway. All right, so given that, there are a couple of things that bother me. I'm paying that kind of money. I do not have a height adjustment on this seat. It's down on the ground and will not move up and down, and the button clearly makes it clear that that is not an option. It's not that it's broken, it's just not an option. Second thing that bugs me is the climate in this, the climate system. It's been about 80 degrees pretty regularly here, and driving around with this, the air is blasting at very, very loud levels and is only marginally keeping this cabin cool. That's an extreme annoyance. With the number of vents that are in this, there's vents up here, there's venting on the floor, there's a bunch of vents across the dash, and there's even vents in the back above those third row seats. With all of that, still not keeping the cabin down to a set temperature of around 70. So, needs a little work. Other than that, really don't have a whole lot of complaints about this. It's a beautiful vehicle. So there you have it. That's me yapping about the vehicle. Yeah, so 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. Very well done. Really, really like it. You get about 250, I think it's 249 is the actual number of horsepower out of that V6. Wonderful engine. It's been in Nissan's lineup for quite a while. It's been slowly growing as it goes, and very, very nicely done engine. And again, now mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Huge step up from the CVT. So yeah, it drives really well. It's hesitant about downshifting because it still aims for economy, but it now can downshift and add more power when you want it. So nicely done overall. Really like the new 2022 Pathfinder. My only beefs really are a couple of interior details. The design is there's some really great elements from the side profile, but front and rear, it just kind of looks like it's copycat. Otherwise, love this green color, such a great color, and am overall really impressed. I think this is priced pretty well for the market that it's in and fits what is needed in that market for most people. If you're in a hot climate, I would make sure to drive this in the summertime as a test drive and see if that climate can keep up though. Just saying. So, there you go. That's what I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.